What I did was I sent greetings to the first people that had this land, that it was their home. So, in a spiritual way, we have to give thanks to them and recognize them, because they were born and they lived here and they suffered here. And so the acknowledgement goes to them for what we are doing today. So, with that, I'm going to tell you that we crossed this country, started on the 8th and ending today on the 23rd. So I'm going to tell you the same thing I told the people across this country, no matter who we are, is that what you are hearing is the oldest blessing of this country, the oldest song of this country that the Creator, who is known as God, had given us. So I told the people in this country that today you are embracing God, but you have a choice not to embrace God. Because if we're going to fix this country, we're going to fix it right by going to the first chapter of what happened here in America as it was born. Because those laws that affect you affected us first. So I ask my relatives, my sisters and brothers out there, to not forget the beginning of the birth of this country if we are going to fix it. So, I'm going to leave the prayer in the oldest song that we have sung through time immemorial. These songs come from our deities, our Holy Spirit, no different than any other religion that has a Holy Spirit. We have connected from the west to the east, that what you do will be blessed from what God gave this part of the world. So it can hear our cries, hear our needs, and give us the wisdom and the spirituality to fix what we are crying about. But let us do it right with prayer. Nothing happens without prayer. If that is neglected, then all we do is nothing. Nothing will change, because the evil that came from across the ocean will still control us, and that is greed. All of that started back in Europe, but it is here. So the Native American people detected that. So we are joining with you as sisters and brothers, so together we can identify what is evil. And in Apache we say Nalini Nakla, which means explode that evil away so the people can live. So I ask you today in the prayer that from where you are, dance with us. Because what I told the people in this country and what they told me back is that when you come to Washington, we may not be there, but hundreds and hundreds of spirits are going to be with you. So tell the people in Washington to dance with you and really join the people's movement. So I ask you, please join us in this religious ceremony that we have. So it's one song. Akia, thank you. I'm Okay, first of all, I really want to thank each and every one of you from every state that you represent. But most importantly, I really want to say thank you for who you are and who you're rooted to. Because the most important thing is to know who you are. If you know who you are, many things in this world make sense, whether it's good or bad. So with us coming here today, and I thank Reverend Barber and the Poor People's Campaign, that to be a part of this is very important for America, because we cannot forget the history, the course that this country took, because we are a part of this. We have been neglected for over 500 years, and our voices have not been heard. And I remember that day I came, and Reverend Barber said, no, the Native Americans will be heard, and we'll be at the table. And this is not what we received, all the broken promises from this Congress, from this president, that's never given us the opportunity. Back in the 1800s, they used to meet with our leaders and respected our leaders because of the relationship, good or bad. But today, as tribal leaders, when we come here to DC, we meet with their chief of staff. We no longer meet with the president. And sometimes Congress people don't even meet with us. And yet, we have 70% unemployment throughout Indian reservations, and yet it was at 100% when we were put as prisoners of war. So imagine you being in prison and then telling you this is your home now, raise your kids in this prison. That's what happened to us. So now today, over 500 years ago, we are finally being heard. And what's going to take change is you people have to be involved in this change. And the second part of that, which is the most important part, is the spirituality. These songs this song that you just heard is the oldest songs that roam in the mountains with our spirit. This song came from the West here, not only to bless us as people, but bless all these buildings, because these buildings came from Mother Earth. to build this city. So if any connection that we can have spiritually is that these buildings can hear our prayers and hear our concerns. So when these people go to work, it will manifest in their heart and their spirits that it has to change. So don't forget, these buildings are just as important because they come from our mother. And then secondly, our environment. You know, Native American is tied to the earth and to the environment. Right now, what we see is the attack on Mother Earth. And it's going to take all of us to stop this. And please, people, believe me, you have the power. You have the power through prayer and making the right decision. Because what Native Americans are facing equal to you is exemptions from federal law. Right now, the United States Congress has exempt federal law on the natural resources so that not only corporations here but around the world can now tap into the resources of America, which means we are not going to have any water.
That's right.
Right now, tributaries are contaminated, water is contaminated. We hardly have any aquifers.
That's right. That's
so
right.
if we do not control these decisions that are being made, then what is going to be left for our children? And what's so important for all of us is that the decisions that we make should be for our children and the ones are not born yet. It is not about us. It's about the future. And if we believe in God, believe in God, then we need to practice what He has told the world.
That's right.
And if we don't, then we are part of what's being destroyed. As I cross America, starting with the Pomo Nation, who blessed us with this feather, and all the tribes and all the people that we ran into, they have faith in this movement.
Right.
They have faith in this movement.
Yes.
So people, be smart and know when somebody is misleading you. Be smart when somebody's trying to destroy a movement that God has given us. Be smart to be able to pray and to detect that so that our children are not being heard. If they are not speaking for their children, then they are not the one to follow.
That's right. That's right.
If they're not speaking for the elders and Mother Earth, they are not the ones to follow. So across in America, this is all the advice I got. Wendsler, tell those people to be careful, because those people will come in and destroy what God has given us as a blessing. And last but not least, is that if we stay in that course, God will give us that change. So we are with you, and we are praying with you. And Reverend Barber and everybody, we really thank you for this opportunity. And you he has been to His word that Native Americans will be a part of it.
Let's give it up for our indigenous brothers and sisters. Now, I'm not, bring this mic up, I'm not the MC, but every now and then Liz and I are going to take some privilege. I got some leaders over here in these tents